How do you introduce someone that everybody already knows? The man whose face is on every Indian currency note. The man who inspired the likes of Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela and is commonly considered as the father of our nation in India, the world's biggest democracy. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi. What makes great people great? When we look at the life of a legend, we usually marvel at the things they did. But have you ever wondered where do they get the strength from to do the things they did? I think the answer lies in what the person did on a day-to-day basis. The habits they built by doing something every day. So much of who we are is made up by our habits, by repeating what we do every day. And therein lies the answer to greatness. The habits that are often overlooked, that sometimes seem tough or even boring. The daily routines that are the road to greatness. So, what I have here is the daily routine of Mahatma Gandhi.
His day started by waking up at 4 a.m., followed by community prayers, going for a walk, doing some reading and writing. Then it was time for breakfast, and then seva, which is selfless service. Then work, meeting with people, more reading and writing, before it was time for lunch and some rest. And then more seva, more work, and teaching. Then of course it was time for spinning the charka. Followed by dinner, evening community prayers, a little walk, some recreation, and it was time to retire by 9 p.m.
This is the routine that Gandhi used to follow in the ashram. Now I had two options before me. Option 1 was that I stay at home and follow this daily routine. Option 2 was that I take a slightly more difficult path but make the entire experience way more authentic. I could travel to an ashram that was built by Gandhi himself, live there for a week and take this entire experience to the next level. I think you already know what I did.
Gandhi established two ashrams in India. There is the Sabarmati ashram in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and a second, lesser known ashram in Sevagram, Maharashtra. The Sevagram ashram was Gandhi's home for 13 years till he was assassinated in the year 1948. This ashram has been preserved exactly how it was in the days when he lived here. And I decided that in order to really experience what I wanted to do, I should go to Sevagram.
So I've come to the living quarters that is opposite the ashram, which is where I have booked the room. They just showed me the room here and I got a little bit of a rude shock. The room is very bare, which is not an issue at all, like no problem with that at all. But it's not like very well maintained or clean, which also I could get over. But I entered the room and then the door to the washroom was open and on the other side was an Indian toilet, which again is not an issue at all. But this particular Indian toilet looked very old and very used. So, yeah. This week was going to be interesting. The living quarters had more expensive rooms on offer too. You know, cleaner rooms, better toilets, etc. that were more to my liking. So I had a decision to make. You know what? I've come to this place to live the daily routine of a man who lived his way in a life that the poorest of poor could afford it. And he enjoyed living like that, an absolutely simple life. So I think it would be like a grave fraud to comment from my side if I ran to the first comfortable and familiar looking room here. So yeah, I'm gonna stay in the first room that I saw. It's gonna be interesting.
And so my 1 week began. Waking up at 4 a.m. might sound really difficult and borderline insane to some people, but if you've been watching this channel for a while, then you probably know that waking up at 4 a.m. is not new to me. Since last year, I've been waking up at 4 a.m. too. But let me be completely honest. The last couple of months had too much travel and my morning routine had gone for a complete toss. So this week was my chance to reset that. I was reminded again of how amazing it is to wake up early in the morning. I felt so alive and would get so much work done by 9 a.m. Sometimes more than I would otherwise do in an entire day. Gandhi was a huge advocate of walking, which was his main form of exercise. Between the years 1913 and 1948, he walked a total of 79,000 kilometers. which is twice the circumference of the earth, for India's freedom struggle. This man shook the foundations of the colonial British Empire by walking. I've never had the habit of walking for so long before, and especially so early in the morning, but I'm really enjoying these hour-long walks in the morning. It's giving me an opportunity to explore Sevagram on foot. And then it was time for service. Doing physical service, called Shramdan in the ashram, gave me a sense of belonging to the place and to the people here. With the morning walk and helping around the ashram surroundings, there is no need to go to a gym here. The muscles are getting strong on their own. One of the things I was looking forward to the most was learning how to spin the charka. Gandhi made the charka famous. Gandhi strongly preached being self-sufficient. Self-sufficiency in various aspects, from washing and pressing your own clothes, to cleaning your own surroundings, to spinning your own thread. In Gandhi's eyes, the charka, which is used to spin cotton into thread, stood for a self-reliant India. He encouraged everyone to spin every day, and he himself spun cotton every day for half an hour, even when he was jailed. And since I was following his daily routine, I had to spin cotton. And to do that, I had to first learn how. This requires some practice and it requires some skill, but I feel like we're getting somewhere, and I'm feeling more and more confident. It's very meditative, I've got to say that. Over the course of the week, I got better and better and began to quite enjoy this art. This is the original kitchen where Gandhi and his wife and the other people in the ashram would cook and have their meals. I just cannot believe that I'm cooking here and having my meals here. Like, you look at this. This is one of the original cupboards that they had. This one too, from all those years ago. This cupboard, the one there in the back. I don't know if you can see it. That's our dal for lunch. Anyway, all of these original, preserved, maintained and being used today from those days. One of Gandhi's favorite things to do was conduct experiments with his diet. Now, what these experiments were and how he conducted them, well, that requires an entire video on its own. During an interview that he gave in 1934, Gandhiji mentioned that he had goat's milk and oranges for breakfast, goat's milk, grapes, pear and any other fruit for lunch, almond paste, dates, tomatoes and lettuce, all raw, for dinner. He experimented heavily with his diet, and at one point he had given up salt completely for 10 years. Now, if you're wondering what diet I chose for this 1 week experiment, I obviously chose the goat's milk and fruit diet. No, I didn't. Because honestly, it just sounds super weird, and I've never experimented so drastically with my diet. I didn't know how my body was going to react to this, and I was not about to find that out in Sevagram. So I stuck to a simpler diet that he also used to follow. Gandhi was strictly vegetarian, sometimes even completely vegan, and preached eating limited, simple, spiceless, and if possible, uncooked. The food in the ashram kitchen was super simple with steamed veggies and no masala. And it was absolutely delicious. We would pick the veggies in the morning from the vegetable garden in the ashram and then cook them and would savor the freshness and the real taste of these veggies.
बापू के जो विचार है भोजन के बारे में, तो उनका कहना यह है कि आदमी को जीने के लिए खाना चाहिए, खाने के लिए नहीं जीना चाहिए.
But of course, I couldn't let the whole diet thing just slip by without trying at least one of Gandhi's diet experiments. We're trying to get the perfect neem to make this neem chutney. So Gandhiji would have his meals with neem chutney. Like, he would have all the courses of his meals with a side of neem chutney. Because he didn't want to develop a desire for the taste of the food. He wanted to have his food with dispassion. So we're going to try and do that today.
Day 3, and it was time to take things up a notch. Gandhi would spend one day a week in complete silence. Being in silence has many benefits, including spiritual advancement. He would also use this day to finish any pending work from the previous week. He was once silent for nearly 2 months at a stretch. Gandhiji would also fast a lot. He would fast to take care of his health. He would fast as part of his diet experiments, and he would fast as part of non-violent aggression in India's freedom struggle. His longest fast lasted 21 days. I have a feeling you already know what I have in mind for day 3. So I have decided to combine both Maun and Upvas for day 3. You know, I thought if I'm in silence, I might as well skip meals on the same day too, so I could practically keep my mouth shut the entire day. Now, I've done different kinds of fasts previously, but this was the first fast where I had only water the entire day and did not eat anything at all. I spent the day meditating, walking amongst nature, and caught up on a lot of work. I felt so calm, so peaceful, and so collected throughout the day. It wasn't as tough as one would think. The idea of living a day like Gandhi was not just to blindly go through the motions. It was important to understand the intentions of this routine in order to see all the different possibilities of where it could take me. Yeah, you can get up at 4 a.m. and sleep at 9 p.m. and do all the things in between. But for me, it was so important to understand the man who made this routine his own, because the same tasks undertaken by different people produce different results. Here are the 3 things that I learned from the daily routine of Mahatma Gandhi. Number 1, stop tricking yourself into not doing the things that you want to do. Gandhi once asked Gokhale, who was an Indian social reformer, who was also falling sick often at that time. Gandhi asked him, "Is it surprising that you keep falling ill? You don't even go out for a walk. Should public work leave you with no time for physical exercise?" Gokhale responded saying that he was never free to do any exercise. Gandhi remained silent out of his respect for Gokhale, but he writes in his book that he found that answer far from satisfying. He wrote in his book, "I believed then, and I believe even now, that no matter what amount of work one has, one should always find some time for exercise, just as one does for one's meals." We humans are so good at finding 100 reasons to not do the things we want to do. It's just so sad when we don't do these things and the years go by and then later we just sit and we're like, I wish I had done that. Stop wishing. Do it now. When are we going to stop and realize that we have the power to do these things? You have the authority to prioritize the things that you want to do. Number 2, don't be afraid to be different. As I was reading Gandhi's autobiography, I was like, this man was just not afraid to do things that were unusual or out of the ordinary all the time. Whether it was his diet or the living practices that he established, or even the way he fought for freedom for his country. Show them the other cheek. Now, of course, I'm oversimplifying things a little bit, and you don't have to agree with everything that Gandhi did. But the point that I'm trying to make is, don't be afraid to try something out of the ordinary. Don't stop yourself from experimenting. There might just be a surprise in it for you. It's so easy to get stuck in the same old, uninspiring routines. So don't be afraid to shake things up a little bit. Number 3, plan for your failures so that you may succeed. Now this one's for all of my productivity nerds out there. Now, you know how sometimes you encounter these little problems through your day that can completely derail your entire productivity plan? So let me share mine with you. Mine is 1, not being able to get up every day at the time that I want to, which is kind of a little difficult because my ambitious wake up time is 4 a.m. And number 2 is experiencing an energy dip every day, almost usually between 5 and 6 p.m. Now, there were 2 things in Gandhi's daily routine that kind of revolutionized how I deal with these problems of mine. And they were the morning and evening community prayers. Let me explain. The morning prayers at 4:45 a.m. meant that I was definitely up at 4 a.m. or latest by 4:15 a.m. And even if I did not get up on my own, my friend would come and wake me up because these were community prayers and everybody went there together. Let's talk about the evening prayer at 6 p.m. Usually between 5 and 6 p.m. I kind of go into an energy dip. But then I also don't get up from the workstation because I still want to be productive. I still want to create value. But this is just really bad. It's really counterproductive. Now, these community prayers at 6 p.m. forced me to take a break, get out of this rut, and go out and meet people. And guess what? I was able to go back after that and be super productive. The point that I'm trying to make here is plan for your failures. Figure out that one thing in your daily routine that you always seem to struggle with. And then add something to your routine that will help you deal with it. Not able to go to the gym religiously? Maybe find a workout buddy and then go together. Not able to sleep on time every day? Deliberately plan your entire day so that you finish your work a couple of hours ahead of when you want to hit the bed. Plan for your failures so that you can set yourself up for success. This was one of the most fulfilling weeks of my life. And when it was time to leave the ashram, I was feeling all the emotions. So today is my last day here. I'm heading home today. Feeling kind of sad to say bye to this room and to this place and the people here. So stupid. I want to thank all the lovely people in the ashram who made this experience what it was. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this video and if there's anything from this routine that you want to add to your own daily routines. You can click here to watch my own 4 a.m. morning routine or click here to watch a day in my life. And definitely click here to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.